Maya had always loved machines. From the time she was a little girl, she would sit in her father's small garage and watch him fix engines, paint cars, and polish metal until it gleamed. While other children played outside, Maya was happiest covered in grease, holding a wrench in her small hands, fascinated by the way gears, wires, and pistons worked together. Her friends often teased her for choosing a boy's job, but she never cared. To her, every car had a story, and she wanted to understand it all. One rainy morning, a large, rusty truck rolled into her garage. Behind the wheel was an older man with careful eyes and a nervous smile. He stepped out and wiped his shoes on the wet mat. In the back of the truck sat a car covered in a thick sheet of dust. Even through the dirt, the car had a proud presence. Its long, shiny frame hinted at elegance, and the chrome edges, though dulled by time, still caught the light in flashes. "That," the man said, pointing to the covered vehicle, "is a 1959 Cadillac. She's been sitting in my father's barn for almost 50 years. I was told she's a rare model, but I don't know much about her. She hasn't run in decades. Can you fix her?" Maya's heart skipped a beat. A 1959 Cadillac was not just any car. It was a masterpiece of design, a symbol of a different era. Its long tail fins and gleaming front grille spoke of craftsmanship, style, and history. Most people would see only the dust, the flat tires, and the rust patches. But Maya saw potential. "I can," she said confidently. "It will take some time, but I promise to restore her." The man nodded and smiled. "I hope you can bring her back to life. She belonged to my mother." She loved that car. Maya spent the morning carefully driving the Cadillac into her garage. Its tires squealed softly, and the engine groaned in protest, but it rolled smoothly under her touch. She took a step back and examined every inch. The paint, though faded, was still a deep, proud red. The chrome trim had lost some shine, but the body was straight and strong. Inside, the seats were covered in dust, the leather dry and cracked, but the original design remained beautiful. As Maya ran her fingers across the steering wheel, she felt a slight tremor in her hand. It wasn't the chill of the garage or the cold air. It was something else, something strange. Her curiosity grew stronger. She had restored many old cars before, but this one felt different. It was as if the car itself held secrets, waiting patiently for someone to uncover them. Maya cleared a space in the garage and started her work. She began with the engine, carefully removing layers of dirt and oil that had built up over decades. She examined every wire, every tube, and every spark plug. She replaced the old fluids, repaired the broken parts, and polished the metal until it gleamed. Outside, rain dripped from the roof, but inside, Maya worked tirelessly, fully immersed in her task. Each day brought new discoveries. She found old tools tucked away in hidden compartments, small notes stuck between panels, and photographs left behind by the car's previous owner. Each item told a story. Maya imagined the life of the Cadillac in its prime, driving along open roads with the wind in the hair, bright sun reflecting off the shiny metal, people turning their heads to admire its beauty. One evening, as the sun began to set and painted the garage walls in shades of gold, Maya paused to look at the Cadillac. She had replaced much of the engine, polished the chrome, and repaired the tires. The car already looked alive, almost ready to roar down the roads again. But something still drew her attention inside the car. She knelt by the driver's seat, brushing off the dust carefully, and her hand brushed against something hard beneath the seat. Her heart skipped a beat. The shape was rectangular, hidden, and very old. She pulled it out slowly. It was a small metal box tarnished by time with a latch that seemed to have been untouched for decades. Maya stared at it. She felt her fingers tremble as she held it. Something about this small box made her feel uneasy and excited at the same time. She had restored many cars, but never had she discovered something like this. For the first time, she realized that this Cadillac was not just a car. It was a keeper of memories. Someone had left a piece of their life hidden inside it, and now it was up to her to uncover the secret. Her curiosity burned brighter than ever. What could be inside? A letter, a photograph, a keepsake, or something even stranger? Maya carefully placed the box on her workbench. She knew she had to finish the car first, but the mystery of the box lingered in her mind. That night, she went home thinking about the Cadillac and the small metal box beneath the seat. Sleep came slowly. Images of the car, the box, and the stories it might hold filled her dreams. The next morning, she returned to the garage with a renewed energy. The Cadillac seemed to greet her, the polished chrome catching the morning light as if inviting her to continue. Maya smiled. She loved challenges, and this car was the greatest one she had ever faced. She had no idea that the small box under the seat would change everything. It was not just a discovery, it was the beginning of an adventure she could never have imagined. And as she began the next day's work, she felt a quiet thrill. The 1959 Cadillac had a story to tell, and she was about to uncover it. Maya could hardly wait to return to the garage the next morning. The small metal box under the seat had been on her mind all night. Her curiosity was too strong to ignore. She entered the garage, sunlight streaming through the dusty windows, and immediately went to the Cadillac. The car looked even more alive now that the engine repairs were nearly complete. The chrome sparkled, the red paint glimmered faintly, and the tires looked firm and ready. It was as if the car itself sensed something was about to happen. Maya carefully lifted the box from the workbench. She examined it under the bright garage light. The box was small and heavy, made of dark metal that had grown dull with age. The latch was simple but sturdy. She hesitated for a moment. She had a strange feeling that whatever was inside this box was important. With a deep breath, she unclasped the latch. The metal click echoed softly in the quiet garage. Inside, she found a bundle of letters tied with a faded ribbon. The paper was yellowed and fragile, but the handwriting was still clear. Maya's heart raced as she carefully untied the ribbon. Each letter was written in neat, careful handwriting, signed with the name Clara. She had no idea who Clara was, but the letters seemed personal and full of emotion. Maya began reading the first letter aloud softly to herself. "Dearest Henry," she read, "I hope this letter finds you well. I cannot wait for the day we drive together in our Cadillac. I have dreamed of this car for so long, and now it is ours. Please take care of her, for she carries not just our memories, but our dreams." Maya's eyes widened. The letters were from a woman named Clara, and they were addressed to someone named Henry. It sounded like a love story, a life carefully recorded in writing. She continued reading, and each letter revealed more about Clara and Henry's life. They had shared countless adventures, road trips, and simple days filled with joy. The Cadillac was not just a car. It was a symbol of their love and memories. As Maya read, she felt a strange connection to Clara and Henry. It was as if the letters had been waiting for her. She could almost see the couple driving along open roads, laughing, and sharing quiet moments under the sun. The Cadillac had been their companion, witnessing happiness, challenges, and everything in between. Maya realized that restoring the car meant more than fixing an engine. She was preserving a piece of history, a story of human life and love. Determined to uncover more, Maya carefully examined the letters for clues. One letter mentioned a small hidden compartment beneath the driver's seat, where Clara had kept the letters safe. Maya realized that this was only the beginning. The couple had left a trail, and the Cadillac itself was like a diary in metal and leather. She smiled to herself. This car was extraordinary. She decided to continue working on the Cadillac while keeping the letters safe. The engine needed a final adjustment, and the brakes required careful attention. Maya worked steadily, her hands skilled and confident. She replaced old wires, tightened screws, and polished the dashboard. The smell of old leather mixed with motor oil created an unusual but comforting atmosphere. Every part she restored made the car seem closer to life, as if it were waking from a long sleep. During her work, she imagined Clara and Henry riding in the Cadillac along winding country roads, the wind blowing through their hair, the sun setting in golden light. She could almost hear their laughter and see their smiles. Maya realized that this car was a time capsule, preserving not just memories but feelings. She felt honored to be part of its story. Later in the day, Maya noticed a small key taped under the dashboard. She picked it up and wondered what it could open. Her mind raced. Could it be connected to the letters? Perhaps there was more hidden inside the car. She carefully followed her intuition and began checking every possible compartment. There was a glove box, a small side panel, and even a hidden pocket behind the radio. Finally, she found a tiny keyhole beneath the passenger seat. Her heart skipped a beat. With steady hands, she inserted the key. The lock clicked open, revealing another small box. This one was simpler than the first, but clearly important. Inside, Maya found a bundle of old photographs. They were black and white and slightly faded, showing Clara and Henry smiling, standing proudly beside the Cadillac. The photos captured moments of joy. Maya woke early the next morning, full of anticipation. She could hardly wait to return to the garage. The Cadillac had been her focus for weeks now, but the letters and photographs had added a layer of mystery that she could not ignore. She wanted to uncover every secret hidden inside the car. As she entered the garage, the sunlight caught the Cadillac's polished surface, making it shine like a gem. The tires gleamed and the chrome trim reflected the morning light. Maya felt a thrill run through her body. Today felt important. Today, she thought, she might discover something truly remarkable. She began her routine by checking the engine and tires, making sure everything was in perfect working order. She carefully wiped the dashboard, ensuring that every switch and gauge was free from dust. Even though the car was nearly restored, Maya knew that the true heart of the Cadillac was still waiting to be revealed. Her eyes returned to the small metal box and photographs she had discovered the day before. She studied the pictures again, trying to notice details she might have missed. One photograph showed Clara holding a small folded piece of paper in her hand, smiling at Henry. Maya felt her curiosity deepen. Could there be something hidden in those papers? Something more than just memories? Maya decided to explore the car even further. She inspected every corner, every compartment, and every hidden nook. The glove box, the side panels, the trunk, all were checked carefully. She moved to the back seat and noticed that the floor mat seemed slightly uneven. She lifted it and found a thin metal plate with tiny screws holding it down. Her heart began to race. This seemed like a hidden compartment she had not yet discovered. With careful hands, Maya unscrewed the plate and lifted it. Beneath it lay a small, narrow drawer built into the floor of the car. It was dark inside and the metal felt cold to the touch. Maya pulled the drawer out slowly and found a bundle wrapped in soft, faded fabric. She opened it gently, revealing a collection of objects that seemed very old but precious. There were several coins, each from a different year, ranging from the 1940s to the 1960s. They were polished by time, yet their details were clear. Alongside the coins were keys, some small and delicate, others sturdy and large. Maya examined them carefully, turning each one in her hands. She felt a strange connection to the people who had left them here. These items were not random. They were carefully chosen and hidden for a reason. But the most intriguing object was a small leather-bound notebook. Its cover was worn and the pages smelled faintly of old paper. Maya opened it slowly. Inside, she found Clara's handwriting again. But this notebook was different from the letters. It seemed more personal, more secret. It contained lists, notes, and even small sketches of the Cadillac. One page had a drawing of the hidden drawer itself, clearly showing how it could be accessed without being noticed. Maya read on, her eyes widening. The notebook revealed that Clara and Henry had carefully preserved certain items inside the car to protect memories that were too precious to share with anyone else. Some notes were simple reminders like where to find tools or how to maintain the car. Others were more emotional, describing moments of joy, sadness, and hope. Maya felt as if she were peeking into the private world of two people who had trusted the Cadillac with their hearts. She continued flipping through the pages and discovered a final entry that made her tremble slightly. Clara had written about a secret she had hidden in the car. It was described in vague terms, but the language hinted that it was something extraordinary, something worth keeping safe for generations. Maya's mind raced. What could it be? She had already found letters, photographs, coins, and keys. Could there be something else? Something that had been waiting for her all these years? Determined to find out, Maya continued her search. She moved to the trunk and checked the spare tire compartment. She examined the back panels again and even looked under the seats more closely. Hours passed, but Maya did not give up. Her dedication and curiosity pushed her forward. She felt a bond with Clara and Henry, as if they were guiding her to uncover their secret. By late afternoon, Maya took a short break. She sat in the driver's seat, feeling the smooth leather under her hands. She imagined the car driving along quiet country roads, carrying Clara and Henry through moments of happiness and sorrow. The Cadillac had been more than a vehicle. It had been a companion, a keeper of memories, and now it was a messenger. Maya realized that her work on the Cadillac was more than restoration. It was a journey through time. Each object she discovered, each page she read, revealed not just history but life itself. She felt grateful to be part of this story, to bring the car back to its full glory while honoring the love and memories it carried. As the sun began to set, Maya carefully placed the notebook, letters, photographs, and coins on the workbench. She felt a growing excitement. Tomorrow, she thought, she would continue the search. She had a sense that the most remarkable secret of all was still hidden inside the Cadillac, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Maya left the garage that evening with a quiet determination. The car, the notebook, and the hidden treasures had filled her mind with possibilities. She knew the journey was far from over. The Cadillac was not just a car, it was a story, and she was about to uncover its most astonishing chapter. The next morning, Maya arrived at the garage with renewed energy. She could feel that something important was waiting for her inside the Cadillac. The letters, photographs, and notebook had already revealed so much, but she had a sense that the greatest secret was still hidden. She pushed open the garage door, and the sunlight glinted off the polished red paint of the Cadillac. The car seemed almost alive, as if it were welcoming her. Maya decided to begin the day by inspecting the interior of the car again. She wanted to examine every detail with fresh eyes. She knelt by the seats and ran her fingers along the seams, looking for anything unusual. That's when she noticed something she had missed before. Beneath the driver's seat, near the base, was a small indentation in the floor. It was subtle and almost invisible unless one was looking carefully. Her pulse quickened. She had a feeling this indentation was the key to Clara's final secret. She grabbed a flashlight and shone it into the small gap. Sure enough, there was a tiny latch hidden inside the indentation. Maya carefully pulled it. The sound of a soft click echoed in the quiet garage. A small panel slid open slowly, revealing a hidden compartment. Maya felt her hands tremble slightly as she reached inside. Her heart raced with anticipation. She had no idea what she might find, but she knew it would be important. Inside the compartment was a small, velvet-covered box. It was heavier than it looked, and the texture of the velvet was smooth and soft under her fingers. Maya carefully lifted it and placed it on the workbench. She hesitated for a moment before opening it, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. She unclasped the lid, and what she found inside made her gasp softly. There was a stack of photographs, much older than the ones she had found before, along with a small, folded piece of paper sealed with a wax stamp. The photographs showed Clara and Henry in moments that had not been captured in the letters. One photograph showed them at a beach, the Cadillac parked nearby, its shiny red body reflecting the sun. Another showed them on a quiet street at night, the car glowing under the street lamps. The images were full of life and emotion, and Maya felt a deep connection to the couple. She carefully unfolded the paper with the wax seal. Inside was a note written in Clara's handwriting. It read, "To the one who finds this, know that this car has carried more than memories. It carries hope, joy, and the promise of new beginnings. Treat it well, and you will understand its true value." Maya read the note twice, feeling a shiver run through her. Clara and Henry had hidden this not just to preserve their memories, but to send a message to whoever discovered it. Maya looked around the garage and at the Cadillac, realizing that this car was more than a restoration project. It was a treasure chest of history, love, and life lessons. She felt honored that Clara and Henry had trusted her to care for their memories. She understood that the hidden box and its contents were meant to teach her something, to show her the importance of patience, curiosity, and respect for the past. Determined to honor their intentions, Maya carefully placed the photographs and note in a safe spot and turned her attention back to the Cadillac. She decided to take the car out for a short drive. She wanted to feel how it handled, to experience the connection that Clara and Henry must have felt. She adjusted the seat, checked the mirrors, and turned the key in the ignition. The engine roared to life, smoother than she had expected. The sound was strong and confident, as if the car was proud to be moving again. Maya drove slowly through the quiet streets near the garage. The Cadillac moved gracefully, its engine purring like a contented animal. She imagined Clara and Henry riding along these roads decades ago, laughing and talking, sharing stories and dreams. Maya felt as though she were walking in their footsteps, experiencing the joy and freedom that had been hidden inside the car for so many years. As she returned to the garage, Maya felt a sense of completion but also anticipation. She knew that there were still small details to uncover, small secrets left in the car. She had restored the engine, polished the exterior. Maya woke early again, her mind buzzing with thoughts about the Cadillac. The hidden box, letters, photographs, and notebook had already revealed so much about Clara and Henry's lives, but she knew the car still held more secrets. She wanted to explore every inch of it, to uncover every hidden memory that had been carefully preserved for decades. She entered the garage and approached the Cadillac. The sunlight reflected off the polished red paint, making the car look almost magical. Maya ran her hands along the smooth surface, feeling the car's curves and edges. It was more than just metal and leather. It was a vessel of memories, waiting for someone to honor them. She opened the driver's door and slid into the seat, the leather cool under her touch. Maya decided to focus on the interior today. She carefully examined the dashboard, the glove box, and the compartments under the seats. As she moved the seats back and forth, she noticed a small square panel under the passenger seat that she had overlooked before. The edges were worn and the latch was nearly invisible. Her heart raced as she reached down and gently lifted the panel. Inside, she found a thin, flat box. It was different from the other boxes she had discovered. This one was light but sturdy, wrapped in a soft cloth. Maya carefully removed the cloth and opened the box. Inside was a collection of small items that seemed ordinary at first glance, but were clearly important to Clara and Henry. There were rings, watches, a delicate necklace, and a few folded notes written in Clara's handwriting. Maya handled the items with care. She could feel the love and care that had gone into preserving them. Each piece seemed to tell a story, a memory frozen in time. She unfolded one of the notes and read it aloud softly. To Henry, for every moment we shared, every smile, every tear. This Cadillac has held our hearts, and now it carries them to you. Maya's eyes filled with emotion. She realized that the Cadillac was more than a car. It was a symbol of devotion, a keeper of their most treasured moments. As she continued exploring, Maya found a small key tucked beneath the floor mat. It was delicate and old, but it fit perfectly into a tiny keyhole she had noticed earlier near the center console. She inserted the key and turned it slowly. A small compartment opened, revealing a folded map. The map was yellowed with age, and small notes were written along its edges. Maya studied the map carefully. It showed a route that Clara and Henry had taken on a long journey many years ago. Small landmarks were marked along the way, and there were notes about the experiences they had had at each location. Maya could almost imagine the couple driving along the roads, stopping to admire the scenery, laughing and sharing quiet conversations. The map was like a time capsule, preserving the adventure they had shared together. Excited by her discovery, Maya decided to explore the trunk more thoroughly. She removed the spare tire and lifted the panels, looking for anything unusual. She found a small metal case wedged in the corner. Opening it carefully, she discovered a stack of postcards, each sent from different towns and cities along the route on the map. The postcards were addressed to Clara from Henry, describing his feelings and experiences as he traveled. Maya felt as if she were walking alongside them, sharing in their journey. Maya realized that the Cadillac had been more than a vehicle for Clara and Henry. It had been their companion, their confidant, and their guardian of memories. Every hidden compartment, every note, and every object told a story of love, joy, and dedication. Maya felt privileged to be the one uncovering these secrets, to be the person who could bring the car and its history back to life. She carefully organized the letters, photographs, maps, and small keepsakes on her workbench. Each item had a place, and she made sure to handle everything gently. Maya knew that restoring the Cadillac was not just about fixing the engine or polishing the paint. It was about preserving the lives and memories of the people who had cherished it. As the day went on, Maya continued to polish and adjust the car. She checked the brakes, the lights, and the engine one more time. The Cadillac was nearly perfect now, shining in the sunlight and ready to be driven. But Maya knew that its greatest secret had not yet been revealed. She had a feeling that the final discovery was close, something extraordinary that would tie everything together. When she finally stepped back to admire her work, Maya felt a deep sense of accomplishment. The Cadillac was no longer just a rusty old car. It was a living story, full of memories, emotions, and treasures carefully hidden over the years. Maya smiled, feeling proud and honored to be part of its history. As the sun began to set, Maya cleaned up her tools and organized the hidden treasures she had discovered. She knew that tomorrow she would continue her search. The Cadillac still held secrets, and Maya was determined to uncover them. She felt a quiet excitement, knowing that the most remarkable discovery was just ahead, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. The next morning, Maya entered the garage with a sense of anticipation she could hardly contain. The 1959 Cadillac sat in the center, polished to perfection, its chrome gleaming and the red paint almost glowing in the sunlight. Maya walked around it slowly, her eyes scanning every curve, every edge. She felt as if the car was alive, waiting to reveal its final secret to her. She decided to focus on the interior first. Sliding into the driver's seat, she ran her hands over the smooth leather. She thought about Clara and Henry, about their journey, their love, and the memories that had been hidden inside the car. Every letter, photograph, and keepsake she had discovered told a story, but Maya knew there was more. She could feel it in her bones, a quiet insistence that the Cadillac held one last mystery. Maya started with the dashboard. She checked all the switches, buttons, and compartments, making sure nothing was overlooked. Her eyes then moved to the floor near the passenger seat. She remembered the hidden indentation she had found earlier, and the small latch that led to the velvet-covered box. She wondered if there could be another secret nearby, something even more hidden, something that required patience and careful observation. Her fingers traced along the edges of the floor panels. That's when she noticed a tiny scratch on the metal near the center console. It was subtle but deliberate, almost like a clue. Maya leaned closer and ran her hand over it. A small button disguised as part of the panel pressed easily under her touch. She held her breath as the panel shifted slightly, revealing a narrow slot that seemed almost too small for anything significant. Maya reached into the slot and pulled out a thin, long envelope. It was sealed with old wax, the mark of careful attention. She opened it carefully and found a folded note inside. The handwriting was familiar. Clara's elegant script filled the page. Maya read it slowly, feeling her heart race. To the one who finds this, you have shown patience, care, and respect for what we held dear. This final discovery is not just for you, but for those who understand the value of love, trust, and memory. The Cadillac carries more than stories. It carries a promise, a piece of our hearts. Treat it well and you will understand what it means. Maya's hands trembled slightly. She realized that this was the moment she had been waiting for. Clara and Henry had left one last treasure, one final secret meant for the right person to discover. She carefully looked around the interior again, examining every detail. Then she noticed a small hidden compartment beneath the center armrest. It was almost invisible, perfectly aligned with the leather seams. Her curiosity and careful attention had led her here. Maya pressed the latch on the compartment and it opened with a soft click. Inside was a small wooden box, polished and warm to the touch despite its age. She lifted it gently and placed it on the workbench. Her fingers lingered on the smooth surface. The box felt important, heavier than it should have been, and the craftsmanship was exquisite. Maya opened the lid slowly, holding her breath. Inside, she found a collection of objects that were astonishing in their simplicity and significance. There were 2 rings carefully wrapped in soft cloth and a small folded photograph. The photograph showed Clara and Henry standing beside the Cadillac on the day they had first acquired it. Their faces were full of joy and hope, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Maya could feel the love radiating from the image. The rings were delicate, matching in design and clearly treasured possessions. Maya understood immediately that these were symbols of a lifelong commitment, a reminder of the love and trust that had existed between Clara and Henry. She felt honored to hold them, realizing that the Cadillac had been a guardian of their hearts for decades. Maya sat back in her chair, holding the rings and photograph carefully. She reflected on everything she had discovered so far: the letters, photographs, coins, maps, keepsakes, and now this final treasure. The Cadillac was no longer just a car. It was a vessel of love, memory, and life itself. Every secret, carefully hidden and preserved, told a story that transcended time. For a long moment, Maya simply sat in silence, feeling the weight and significance of the discovery. She knew that her role was not just to restore the car, but to honor the lives and memories it held. The Cadillac had trusted her to care for its secrets, and she felt a deep responsibility to ensure that they were respected and preserved. Finally, Maya carefully placed the rings and photograph back in the wooden box. She set the box on the workbench alongside the morning sun filled the garage with warm light as Maya entered, carrying a sense of determination. After discovering the Cadillac's hidden treasures and secrets, she knew that the final stage of the restoration had to be perfect. The car had been dormant for decades, but now it was more than a machine. It was a story, a memory, and a piece of history, all waiting to be fully brought back to life. Maya began by checking the engine one last time. She adjusted the spark plugs, tightened the belts, and replaced a few old wires. The engine, which had groaned and struggled for weeks, now purred smoothly. She listened to it carefully, feeling the vibrations through her hands on the steering wheel. Each hum and vibration was a signal that the Cadillac was almost ready to reclaim its place on the road. Next, she turned her attention to the interior. She polished the dashboard and the chrome accents, making every surface gleam. She adjusted the seats and cleaned the leather carefully, restoring the warmth and softness it had lost over the years. Every detail mattered to Maya because she knew the car was more than just a vehicle. It was the carrier of Clara and Henry's memories. She paused and looked at the hidden treasures she had uncovered. The letters, photographs, coins, keys, maps, and the wooden box with the rings. Maya realized that these objects were more than mementos. They were a timeline, a record of a life well lived and a love carefully nurtured. She arranged them neatly on the workbench, feeling a sense of pride and responsibility. She was part of this story now, entrusted with its preservation. As she worked, Maya imagined Clara and Henry riding in the Cadillac, their laughter echoing through the open roads. She pictured them stopping at small towns, exploring nature, and enjoying quiet moments together. The thought made her smile. The car had witnessed joy, hope, and love for decades, and now it would carry these memories forward. After finishing the interior, Maya moved to the exterior. She gave the red paint one final polish, making it shine brilliantly in the sunlight. The chrome trim reflected the garage lights like mirrors, and the tires looked strong and ready. Maya took a step back and admired her work. The Cadillac had transformed from a dusty, forgotten car into a beautiful, gleaming masterpiece. With the restoration nearly complete, Maya felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. She knew that the next step would be to drive the Cadillac, to feel how it moved, and to experience the connection Clara and Henry had shared. She adjusted the mirrors, fastened her seatbelt, and turned the ignition. The engine roared to life, stronger and smoother than ever. Maya felt a thrill run through her. This was the moment she had been waiting for. She drove slowly at first, testing the brakes, the steering, and the acceleration. The Cadillac handled beautifully, moving gracefully along the quiet streets near the garage. Maya imagined Clara and Henry's smiles as they would have driven along these same roads decades ago. Every turn, every vibration, and every sound reminded her of the car's history and the love it had carried. As she returned to the garage, Maya felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The Cadillac was not just restored, it was alive. It had a story, a personality, and a history that she had carefully uncovered and preserved. She parked the car carefully and turned off the engine, listening to the quiet hum as it settled. Maya then focused on the final step, sharing the story. She knew that Clara and Henry's journey, their love, and the memories hidden in the Cadillac were meant to inspire and teach others. She decided to create a small display in the garage. She arranged the letters, photographs, coins, keys, maps, and wooden box neatly on a table beside the car. She labeled each item with a description, explaining its significance and the part it played in the couple's life. Stepping back, Maya looked at the scene she had created. The Cadillac gleamed in the center, surrounded by the treasures and memories it had carried for decades. She felt a sense of pride, knowing that she had restored more than just a car. She had honored a life, preserved a history, and shared a story that would continue to inspire anyone who saw it. Maya smiled as she turned off the lights in the garage for the day. She knew that the Cadillac would always carry Clara and Henry's legacy, and now it also carried hers. She had been entrusted with a remarkable gift, and she had fulfilled her responsibility with care, patience, and love. The 1959 Cadillac was no longer just a car. It was a living story, a treasure of memories, and a symbol of dedication and hope. As she walked out of the garage into the evening sunlight, Maya felt a sense of completion. The journey had been long, filled with discoveries, excitement, and emotion, but it had also been unforgettable. She knew that the Cadillac story would continue, inspiring anyone who took the time to listen. And she was proud to have been the one to bring it back to life, piece by piece, memory by memory. Maya arrived at the garage early, feeling a quiet excitement. The Cadillac was finally restored, gleaming in the morning sunlight. Its red paint reflected the light beautifully. The chrome trim sparkled and the leather interior smelled fresh and smooth. She had worked for weeks to bring the car back to life, but the hidden treasures still held a final secret. Today, she knew, would reveal everything. She approached the driver's seat and knelt carefully. Her fingers traced the seams of the leather as she remembered the small indentation beneath the seat that had led her to the first hidden box. The thrill of discovery surged through her. She had found letters, photographs, coins, keys, and even a wooden box with rings. Each discovery had been remarkable, but the car seemed to hold one last piece of its story. Maya lifted the seat slightly, examining the floor beneath it. Her eyes caught a tiny seam near the back edge, almost invisible in the polished interior. With careful fingers, she pressed along the seam. A soft click echoed in the quiet garage, and a small panel slid open. Maya's heart raced as she reached into the hidden compartment. Inside, she found a small envelope, old and fragile, sealed carefully with faded wax. She held it gently and broke the seal. Inside was a letter, written in delicate handwriting, Clara's handwriting, the same she had seen in the other letters and notebook. Maya unfolded it slowly and began reading aloud. To the one who has cared for our Cadillac, you have proven patience, respect, and love. The car carries not only memories but a promise. This is the final treasure, meant for someone who will honor it. Within this envelope is something that completes our story and connects the past with the present. Use it wisely, and you will understand the true meaning of our journey. Maya's fingers trembled slightly. The letter felt personal and extraordinary, filled with emotion. She looked inside the envelope and found a small folded piece of cloth. Unfolding it carefully, she discovered a delicate locket. Its surface was engraved with the initials C and H, surrounded by a small heart. Inside the locket were two tiny photographs, one of Clara and one of Henry. The couple's smiles seemed to shine even through the small images. Maya held the locket close, feeling a sense of awe and connection. She realized that this final treasure was more than a keepsake. It symbolized everything Clara and Henry had valued: their love, their memories, and their bond with the Cadillac. The car had been a companion, a guardian of their hearts, and now it had entrusted its story to her. For a long moment, Maya sat quietly in the driver's seat, holding the locket and looking around the car. She thought about all she had discovered, the letters describing their adventures, the photographs showing moments of joy, the maps and postcards tracing their journeys, and the rings that symbolized their lifelong commitment. Each item had told a part of the story, but this final locket completed it. She felt a deep sense of responsibility and honor. The Cadillac was not just a restored car. It was a vessel of history, emotion, and love. Maya realized that every moment she had spent working on it, every detail she had polished or repaired, had been part of preserving that story. The car had trusted her to care for it, and she had fulfilled that trust. Maya carefully placed the locket in the wooden box with the other treasures. She stepped back and looked at the Cadillac. The car gleamed like a jewel, and the hidden treasures beside it told a story that could inspire anyone who took the time to understand it. She felt a connection to Clara and Henry, as if their presence still lingered in the garage, smiling and proud of her work. With the restoration complete and all secrets revealed, Maya decided to take the Cadillac out for one final drive. She adjusted the mirrors, checked the engine, and turned the key. The engine roared to life smoothly, and Maya felt a thrill of excitement. She drove slowly at first, then picked up speed along the quiet country roads near the garage. The car moved gracefully, its powerful engine humming beneath her hands. As she drove, she imagined Clara and Henry riding alongside her, smiling and enjoying the ride. She thought about their journeys, their love, and the memories they had shared with the Cadillac. Maya understood that this car was more than metal and paint. It was a carrier of life, love, and history. Each turn of the wheel reminded her of the joy and adventure it had witnessed. After returning to the garage, Maya parked the Cadillac carefully. She stepped out and looked at it with pride and respect. The car, the hidden treasures, and the final locket told a story that would last for generations. Maya knew she had restored more than a car. She had restored a legacy, a love,